Picture this. You've dreamed of your wedding day since you were little. The flowers, the music, the dress that makes everyone gasp just a little too dramatically. Maybe you even envisioned a giant cake, 3 tiers, maybe 5 if you're feeling extra, because hey, it's your day. Now, imagine finally getting to that point in life where the wedding is real, the fiancé is real, and the ring on your finger sparkles brighter than the flashbulbs of paparazzi cameras. But instead of sipping champagne while breezing through color palettes and cake tastings, you're stressing because your future husband is doing absolutely nothing. Zero. Nada. Zilch. That's the rumored situation with Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco, and let's just say, the tea is piping hot. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. Yes, you read that right. Rumors are swirling faster than whipped frosting on a bakery mixer that Selena Gomez, our beloved singer, actress, and queen of relatability, is shouldering the brunt of the wedding planning all on her own. And while Benny Blanco might be a genius in the recording studio, insiders whisper he's showing little interest in being a co-pilot for this once-in-a-lifetime event. Add in Selena's mom, Mandy Teefey, who reportedly is too busy with her own work projects to lend a hand, and suddenly you've got yourself a recipe for wedding planning chaos. Fans are buzzing, family tension is rising, and the million-dollar question is, can Selena actually pull off her big day without the solid support system she deserves? Stick around, because this story is less about flowers and dresses and more about love, loyalty, and what really happens when personal dreams clash with reality. Now, before we dive headfirst into the drama, and oh, there's plenty, let's pause to appreciate how we even got here. After all, Selena Gomez's love life has been the subject of headlines for years, with fans cheering every high and shedding tears through the lows. But this moment? This is different. It's not just another Hollywood fling, it's her shot at forever. And yet, forever doesn't plan itself, does it? Unless, of course, you're banking on a fairy godmother to show up with a clipboard, a headset, and a perfectly curated Pinterest board. Unfortunately for Selena, sources claim her fairy godmother is on an extended vacation. So, how did this fairy tale romance start showing cracks when it should be shining brightest? Why isn't Benny stepping up, and what does Mandy's absence mean for Selena's emotional state? More importantly, what lessons can all of us, yes, even those of us without Grammy nominations, take away from the stress of balancing dreams, family, and reality? Buckle up, because we're about to unpack it all, one rumor, one sigh, and one glittering sequin at a time. When Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco went public, the reaction was split right down the middle like a high school cafeteria pizza. Some fans were ecstatic, finally seeing Selena happy after years of roller coaster relationships that played out under the harsh glare of the spotlight. Others scratched their heads, unsure what to make of the pairing. But love doesn't need an audience to validate it, unless, of course, that love belongs to two of the most recognizable names in the entertainment industry. Their romance had an effortless, almost quirky charm. Benny, the producer known for crafting some of the biggest hits on the radio, isn't exactly your typical Hollywood leading man. And that was part of the appeal. He was refreshingly different. Selena, who has built her career on authenticity and resilience, seemed to glow in his presence. Suddenly, we weren't just watching another tabloid romance. We were watching a story that felt oddly relatable. The girl next door, who happens to also headline international tours, finally found someone who seemed to see her beyond the flashing lights. It wasn't long before whispers of something more permanent surfaced. Engagement rumors popped up like confetti at a concert finale, and before anyone could blink, talk of wedding bells filled the air. For fans who had seen Selena endure so many public heartbreaks, this was the happily ever after chapter they had been waiting for. Or so it seemed. But if love stories were simple, we wouldn't be here dissecting the current storms swirling around them, would we? Because as every couple knows, the romance is one thing, planning a wedding is another beast entirely. Let's get real for a second. Wedding planning is one of those things that looks magical in movies, but often feels like running a marathon with one shoe missing in real life. There's the budget, the venue, the catering, the seating chart, which, by the way, can ruin friendships if you're not careful. And don't even get me started on the family politics, because weddings aren't just about two people joining together. They're about two families, and sometimes two entire worlds, trying to figure out how to coexist over canapes. Now, imagine all of that, but on a celebrity scale. Multiply the stress by 1,000, add paparazzi lurking in bushes, sprinkle in millions of fans dissecting every move on social media, and you've got yourself a recipe for a very public pressure cooker. For Selena, this isn't just about picking flowers. It's about orchestrating an event that will be photographed, analyzed, and immortalized online forever. No pressure, right? This is where the alleged cracks start showing. Sources claim that instead of being her rock, Benny Blanco has been surprisingly hands-off. Sure, he's probably busy with music projects and studio sessions, but when your partner is stressed, the bare minimum is showing up with some emotional support. Or at least pretending to care about the difference between cream and ivory table linens. And yet, the word on the street is that Selena feels like she's carrying this whole thing on her shoulders, with little more than an occasional shrug from her fiancé. But here's where it gets even trickier. Normally, this is where family swoops in, right? Moms, aunts, best friends, somebody usually steps up with a binder full of ideas and a willingness to chase down vendors. But in Selena's case, insiders whisper that her mom, Mandy Teefey, is too busy with her own career projects to be the pillar of support Selena desperately needs. And suddenly, the fairy tale wedding begins to look like a solo project. We've all been there, maybe not planning a star-studded wedding, but dealing with moments where we needed family to be present and they just weren't. It stings. For Selena, who has always spoken openly about the importance of family, the idea that her mom might be too wrapped up in work to support her right now feels especially painful. After all, isn't a wedding supposed to be one of those moments where everyone drops everything to rally around you? But let's be fair, family dynamics are complicated. Mandy Teefey has her own life, her own responsibilities, and her own identity outside of being Selena's mom. Still, the optics here don't look great. Fans who adore Selena can't help but feel protective, worrying that she's being left to fend for herself during what should be the happiest time of her life. The whispers of tension only add fuel to the fire, making people wonder if this lack of support is taking a bigger emotional toll than anyone realizes. So what happens when the two people you expect to be your anchors, your partner and your mom, aren't there in the way you need them? For Selena, it seems to mean stress, frustration, and the kind of late-night tears that no amount of ice cream can fix. But here's the kicker. Sometimes those very cracks are what reveal just how strong you are. Could this be one of those defining moments for Selena, where she discovers her own resilience yet again? Or will the mounting pressure prove to be too much?